Hey guys, welcome back to ValValeTodo. Back at it again with some juicy stuff. I don't know what baby mama needs to hear this, but kids need dads too. Okay, that's number one. Number two, I don't know what baby mama needs to hear this, but this is not about you. Thank you. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. That's all. Today's video is going to be about my thoughts on why kids need dads too. This is a topic that just makes me so emotional and so upset because one, I've lived through it, and two, because I see my dad living through it. When I say dad, I mean my stepdad, but I do call him dad. For this video, I will call him stepdad just so people won't get confused. Before I start this video, I do want to talk about my background because one, people are going to be like, you're not a mom, like how would you even know what we go through? And people are just not going to know where I'm coming from, or, you know, backlash or judging me because I'm not a mom. I don't know what baby mamas go through. You know, I don't know what dads go through, but I was a fatherless daughter. I was raised without a father basically my whole life. Since I was 2 or 3, my parents got a divorce and they separated. My mom was a single mother of 2, me and my sister. My sister is 3 years older than me. My mom had to go through everything by herself. Not financially, my dad was there financially. You know, I was a very troubled kid. I would get in fights all the time. I would be getting in trouble with the school because of fighting, because of angry issues, because of the people I would hang around with. You know, we were crazy. I didn't know I had depression at that time, but now that I look back and how I acted and did things, and then later on in my life that I was diagnosed with depression and anxiety, she had to do that all by herself. She had to get me back up and make me keep going with my life. You know, she was there. And she did that all by herself with no help whatsoever. I was in soccer ever since I was in middle school, and you know, my dad never came to my soccer games. My mom was barely actually ever there because she had to work. You know, she had to focus in the house and, you know, taking us to places, and she was never able to make my soccer games, and I don't blame her. She had like so much to do already, and it's so hard to balance everything, especially with 2 kids. I want to give a huge shout out to my mom because without her, I wouldn't be here right now. Without her, I wouldn't be the amazing woman that I am right now. Without her, I don't know where I would be in my life. I would not love myself. I wouldn't be simply the woman I am today without my mom, and I am so grateful for her, and I love her so much. She means the world to me. She's my best friend. She's the best mother I've like ever met, obviously, you know, because she's the only one that I have. She is the mother that I want to be whenever I have my kids. So let's not ignore that through this whole video because she did an amazing job raising me and my sister by herself with no help whatsoever. I will say that I am very blessed because I didn't have to go through a lot of the things that fatherless kids have to go through. I mean, I still had my dad there when it came to financial reasons. You know, a lot of kids that don't have dads, they don't come around at all. They're not there emotionally, they're not there physically, they're not there even financially. But if you ever ask my dad, what is her passion? What is the hardest thing that she has ever gone through? I don't think he would know. If you asked him what is the hardest thing that I had to go through this past year, he wouldn't know. And that hurts, you know, that does hurt. There's so much that I wish that my dad was there, but he simply wasn't. And I don't blame that at all to my mom. Like, my mom let him be around our lives however much he wanted. She would say, you want to see them? Like, they're right there. If you want to see them, they're there. If you want to take them for the week, they're there. If you want to take them for the weekend, they're there, you know? Like, she would always let him see see us whenever he wanted. It was him who didn't take the initiative of seeing us. You know, he would see us once a month to give us money. And, you know, I'm very blessed for that, because there's many dads out there who wouldn't even support their kids financially. And I was blessed to at least have a dad that still like took the responsibility to do those things. But when it came to, hey, how is she doing? Like, is she staying out of trouble? Is she dating anyone? Like, what do you love? What do you love doing? What do you enjoy reading? What's your favorite movie? Let me go to your soccer games. Let me spend time with you. That was never my dad. I never thought that it mattered to me. I never thought that I was missing that aspect. But, you know, I did have problems that I later came to realize that it was because I was missing my dad. I never realized how much I needed a dad until my stepdad, which I call dad, he came into my life. I was old, and by 16, I was already calling him dad. I was already like, oh, my dad. And they're like, your dad? That's your dad? He's white. You're Mexican. What do you mean he's your dad? And then I'm like, oh, well, he's my stepdad. And they're like, how long has he been in your life? And I'm like, oh, 2-3 years. And they're like, and you're already calling him dad? Like, that's weird. And I'm just like, why? You know, why is that weird? This man took the initiative to be the dad that I never had. He started showing up to my soccer games without me asking him to. He was there for my first heartbreak ever, my real first heartbreak. He was there. He gave me advice. He was a dad. He put in every aspect that you want from a father. If I got stuck in the road without gas, like, he would come. He would be the one that would come and save me. You know, if like I got in a fight, like my mom was yelling at me, why are you fighting? And then he would be like, but did you win though? And then I'd be like, yeah. And he's like, yeah. And, you know, I cannot thank God enough for bringing this man to our lives, because that's exactly what I needed. I needed a father figure. And I can't even start to explain how much this man changed my life. Because of him, I went to school outside of El Paso. Because of him, I had the opportunity to study whatever I wanted, you know, to go to whatever school I wanted. And I traveled to South Carolina, and now I'm moving again because of him, you know. He's given me so many opportunities and so many blessings and so many, like, lessons at life. And he is the dad that I always needed in my life. This man truly exemplifies the meaning of a dad, what it is to be a dad. Not having a dad, I believe, that brought me into things that I would have never gotten into if I would have had that father figure there. And until this man didn't come into my life and changed everything about, like even the family aspect, even believing in love. If you know me, I've never believed in love and marriage. And then when I see my mom and him, it's like, damn, it does exist. Love does exist. Families do exist. I always believed that families didn't work out because my family didn't. And then I saw other people's and they didn't, like, those didn't work either. And of course, you know, my mom and stepdad argue at times, but that's just regular relationships. And I learned what a healthy relationship, a healthy family is. That is basically my little background of being a fatherless daughter to having a father that isn't my blood, you know, but he is family. He is my dad. Within these short years, he has taught me something that no one has been able to teach me. You know, my mom taught me so many amazing things, and I am the woman I am because of her. But she struggled through things. She couldn't teach me things that a dad could teach. The reason I'm talking about this issue is because my stepdad has 2 other kids. One is just graduated from high school, and the other is still a young boy. It gets me so upset how much he has to suffer. He has gone through so much depression, to the point where it's unbelievable that a dad has to go through this. He is constantly, you know, he has struggled to see his kids because of his baby mamas. And this man is such an amazing father, and then seeing that he's not able to see his kids just pisses me off. How is it possible that a dad that is willing to be there for their kids and pays child support and does everything that he needs to do can't see his kids? He cries. I've seen him so depressed because his baby mama won't let him see his kid. You're like, okay, like, I'm not gonna let you see my kid because, like, you're abusive. I'm not gonna let you see my kids because you are a fucking serial killer, you know? I won't let you see my kids because you bring them around drugs. I totally, completely get that. I mean, I worked at an internship that dealt with these things, that dealt with kids and families, that I had to supervise those parent visitations because, you know, we needed to know that these kids were in a safe environment to see their parents. But when it comes to, I'm not letting you see my kids because you cheated on me in the past. I'm not letting you see the kids because you were a dick in the past. Because I have some type of anger towards you still because of what we went through. If you don't let your baby father see the kids, you have issues, and you are so wrong, and you are making this about yourself and not about your kid. If you just stop and realize to think what a kid has to go through because they can't see their dad because of what he did to you, you're so wrong. You are so completely wrong, and you need to understand that. Kids need their fathers too. Kids need both parents, period. I'm not a mom that understands how much it sucks to, like, see your kid love their dad while you have, like, some anger towards them, you know, but don't let your kid judge their dad because of as a man. Let them judge their dad as a dad. If you let your baby father have all access to your kid, see them whenever they want, and they do the right job, like, good for them. And if you let them and they still don't come, that's on them. That's not on you anymore. Don't teach your kids to have anger, to have these trust issues, to have anger towards a dad only because of what he did to you. That's not okay. I see my stepdad, you know, paying all this money for child support, and okay, you know, like, that's his duty. That's what he has to do. Money is money. Money comes and goes. But for him to be paying all that money and he can't even talk to his son on the phone is freaking ridiculous. My dad has bought him, like, a watch to text him, to call him on that watch, and for the mom to take that away because no, you talk to him when I say so. What is your problem? If you're that type of mom, what is your problem? That's not okay. You're making your kid go through something, going through not having a father, when there's dads that are willing to try to be a father, and you're taking that away? Bro, seriously. Do you know how many things kids have to go through that are not raised by both parents? I, like, give such an applause to my mom because she never taught me to hate my dad. She never taught me to have any anger towards my dad, and my dad was a prick to her. He cheated on her multiple times ever since they got married. He made her feel like she wasn't worth anything. And she never told me these things. She never taught me to hate him because of what he did to her as a man. He told me to always judge him as a dad, not as a man. And that is so powerful. You have to be so strong to do these things. You have to be so grown to teach these things to your kids. And if you can't teach this to your kids, then you shouldn't be a parent. Look, I'm not a psychologist. I'm not a mom. I'm not an expert. But I am a girl who was raised without a father and then had the opportunity to have another father that cared, that was putting the effort to be there, you know, to be a dad. And it changed my entire life. I do believe that not having my dad there emotionally, you know, made me go through a lot of things that I shouldn't have had to go through. And if you're the dad that is blessed enough to have a baby mama that is respectful, that is mature, that lets you see their kid, please take the opportunity to be there for your kid. Be involved with your kid. Go watch their games, go to their art shows, go to their performances. Be there for your kid. It is so important for a kid to have their dad too. If you're that person, that kid, that your dad has never been there, or that you think that your dad has never been there for you, try and talk to your dad instead and see his point of view, because I bet you anything they have their reasons. You know, sometimes it's because they were never raised with a father themselves and they don't know how to be a father, or they simply are so blind and don't know how you're feeling, don't know how much harm they're causing you. Open up about those things. Tell your father that. There's always two sides of the story, and you don't know what that other side is until you ask. To my internship, I was there because it was like fathers that, you know, had a drug addiction or, you know, needed to be in a healthy environment. Mothers too that had to deal with those things, you know, so we needed a safe environment for kids. But then a lot of the cases where dads were only in that program because of a marriage dissolution, because the parents didn't get along. And I don't think that a parent needs to be at a program like that only because you guys cannot agree on things. You need to be mature in order to have a kid. What are you gonna teach your kid if you're like just showing hatred towards a person, if you're not showing forgiveness, if you're not showing compassion? What are you teaching your kid? Are you the bad example or are you the good example? You know, don't let that be you in this situation. Teach your kid to be loving, to be caring, to be forgiving, because you're not perfect. So why are you judging someone else because of the mistakes that they have made in the past? It's not about you, it's about the kids. It's about the kids' futures and about how they grow up to be and what they learn. And I mean, I don't completely get it, but thinking about if I have a kid with this man and I love him to death and he ends up cheating on me, or he like just walks away, then I feel like I kind of understand what pain you would be in. But at the end of the day, it's still not about you when it comes to a kid and a father. It's sad because I haven't even been able to meet my stepbrother because of that woman that won't even let him speak to his own kid. She won't answer phone calls, she won't do this, and imagine what the kid is going through. Imagine what the kid is thinking, that like his dad doesn't care about him, but it's all her. You know, he tries to call him, he tries to do, like, he's gone to court for him, and the courts don't see how great of a father he is, and it hurts. It's so disappointing to see a good dad that's wanting to be a dad go to waste because someone's being immature about the past. That sucks. That's sad. And if you're that person, you need a reality check. So if someone needs to hear this, please share it, because it's not fair to the kid. I was able to meet my stepsister because she's older now, and I think the relationship between that mother and my dad is different. You know, it's more mature, it's more understanding. But I know that my stepsister is going through these things that like she didn't understand, and hopefully she does now, and hopefully she sees those things now. I hope she sees how much our dad has tried, but I'm sure like she had so many questions about what went on, about why he wasn't there, and you know, she probably got one part of the story and maybe now she has a different part of the story, you know, and it's up to like me. If I was raised like that, it would be up to me to decide if I want to be grateful for those things. If, you know, if you're that person right now watching this video and, you know, you finally get to see, or you want to see the other side of the story, be grateful for the little things that he did, for the support that he gave you. I know how important it is to have a father, and if it wasn't for my stepdad, gosh, I would be a different woman today too. You know, he's shown me leadership, he's shown me compassion, he's shown me strength, he's been a mentor, he's been a supporter, he's there for everything that I have ever needed, and I just wish I had him earlier in my life, you know? This man is a huge blessing to my life. And for kids to not have that opportunity because a mom wants to be selfish and think about herself and think about the past is disgusting. It's hurtful, it's heartbreaking. So I really hope that if you watch this and you're that mom that, you know, is going through these things and this hurt, this anger, okay, feel that hurt, but don't teach that hurt to your kids. They have nothing to do with that. I can't say it enough, and I'm probably repeating it over and over again, but you need to understand that. Let the father be a part of your kid's life. If he doesn't come into the life, then that's not on you anymore. You did all that you could, you know? That's on them. But don't be the reason why your kids cannot see their father. Don't be that reason. Let the father be a father. Let their kids have that father or that other parent. You know, it goes both ways. There's many reasons on why a father can't be in a kid's life, or, you know, it's a father that decides to be in the life, or, you know, it could be a lot of different things. But this specific issue, don't let it be because of you. Don't make it about you. Make it about your kid. I'm sorry I get so passionate about it, so angry, because I hate seeing good fathers suffer because of these dumb, petty things. Please share this, guys. Like, I know someone out there needs to hear this. It's hard to be mature, but at one point in your life, you gotta be mature. You know, you gotta grow up. You gotta stop focusing on the petty stuff. Then you're never gonna be able to move on from the hurt either. Winning an argument, it's not putting your kid in between on, do you get to see him today or not? Do you get to talk to him today or not? That's not how you win an argument. You end up losing. You end up looking like the salty, immature person that you are. Kids need both parents. And until you don't understand that, don't have any more kids. You can't be selfish and have kids. Please let me know what you think. I know I'm basing it off one perspective, and I'm basing it off as me being raised without a father and not having that father figure in my life, and then being able to have that in my life and how it changed my life. So I'm basing it off on my perspective, and I'm basing it off how much I see my dad struggle, my stepdad struggle. You know, I know there's different situations to everything. I know there's dads who really don't deserve to be a dad, but there are dads out there that are willing to be a dad, and then it comes to the point where they don't even want to call their kids anymore because they have to deal with a baby mama that's just nagging and tripping and just being psychotic and immature. Like, who's gonna want to deal with that, you know? And they stop trying, and that's not okay either, for them to stop trying. So if you're that father too, if you're that mom that's doing that, please listen to this over and over again until you understand it. And if you're that father that gives up because you have to constantly like be nagged by this woman or bothered by this woman, then, you know, don't stop. Don't quit there. There's so many other things that are worse than dealing with an immature woman. But don't stop there, because your kids are so important and they need you. Please let me know what you thought in the comments below. Please give it a like if you agreed with this video, if you think that it needs to be talked about even more. You know, I later hope in my life that I'm able to open up an organization that focuses on dads' rights and focuses on kids that have been neglected, or, you know, there's a lot of things that I want to do for kids, but those are one of my biggest issues. And I hope that with this video I get that message across just a little bit. It's not a professional opinion, it's a person that has lived through it, and I don't wish that on anyone else. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope this gets across to someone. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and again, remember, kids need their dads too. And I will talk to you guys later, alligator, no crocodile.